Okay, I'd like to talk to you about something that I call the sandwich principle. Now, the sandwich principle applies really to any kind of photography, and it's really quite a simple idea. If you think about when you're making a sandwich, there are various elements that you've got to put together. You've got to have some bread, you've got to maybe have some ham, a bit of cheese, maybe some lettuce, mayonnaise, or whatever. And then what you will do is, after choosing those elements carefully, you'll put them together carefully in order to create a net effect, an end result that is pleasant to experience. And really it's very similar with a photograph. When you're putting your photograph together, you've got to think about which kinds of elements you're combining, okay? For example, if you imagine that I point my camera down and just take a picture of sand, it would be really rather boring. Similarly, if I just point at a rock, it would also be boring. It's like making a sandwich just out of plain bread. However, if you combine several elements, maybe human element, surfer there, a bit of rock, a bit of sea, a bit of sky, a bit of wave motion, it suddenly becomes a lot more interesting because you've got more things that are combining with each other there to create an overall much more interesting effect. Now, of course, there are occasions where having very few elements, or maybe even only one element, can create a very beautiful effect. So I'm not saying throw as many things in there as possible, okay? Because, you know, you might make a sandwich that just has cheese in it, for example, but if it's very good cheese, then it'll be a very nice sandwich, okay? Now, the sandwich principle is something that, as I say, you can apply to really any kind of photography. It's just a nice little way, a nice little analogy that you can use to help you think about whether the things that you've put in your picture are actually going to be interesting for the viewer to experience, okay? You look at it and you sort of think, well, why have you put those things together? Why are you showing me this? There's probably something wrong with the mechanics or the composition of the image. So think about how you're combining your elements.